Ending binge eating is so much closer than you realize. Easy? No. Simple? Yes. Does it require time, energy, intentionality, learning the proper tools, getting support from somebody like myself who has been there, done that, and can show you the way? Absolutely. But it's actually so much simpler when you have a process to follow, when you have a coach who sees you, who can guide you every single step of the way. Now, there's two reasons why you haven't conquered binge eating yet, or why it feels harder than it actually is. So the first reason is you don't know what to do. Now, I remember being at this place, and I remember thinking to myself, I don't know why I'm doing this. I love eating healthy. I love working out. I am the most motivated person. I will be at the gym. I will meal prep. I will eat super healthy. Why the heck am I so out of control with food? And if you don't know what to do to stop your binge eating, well, of course, you're going to feel like you're banging your head against the wall because you're why is this happening? Why can I eat super healthy all day and then come the evening, you're elbow deep in a tub of ice cream? Why do you always eat past fullness? Why do you feel this compulsion to go into the pantry and eat all the snacks when your husband leaves the house? If you don't know why you are binging, well then, of course, it's going to be hard to know what action steps to take. And this is where so many people think it's just about trying harder, more motivation. I'm just going to keep those foods out of the house. And that's not what ending binge eating is all about at all. In fact, those things actually intensify your binge urges. And people have such a massive breakthrough when they come to work with me. And they're like, oh my God, I didn't realize that the things that I was doing was actually intensifying my urges. And again, this is why having support and a coach is so important, because right now you might actually be doing things that you think are supportive and helpful, like keeping trigger foods out of the house, not buying the foods that you love, trying to eat super healthy and, distract yourself when actually you're making your urges more intense. And somebody actually commented on one of my TikToks. And she said something along the lines of, I just allow myself to binge sometimes, and I just enjoy it. And I said to her, giving yourself permission to enjoy the foods that you love is literally the thing that's going to help you stop binge eating, and it's and she was like, oh, wow, that's so interesting. Because you don't have to give yourself permission to say, F it, I'm just going to binge tonight. Yes, there's a time and a place for that. But when actually you just allow yourself to have what you're craving, you're actually going to prevent yourself from having urges, and that's a whole other conversation. But the first reason why you haven't stopped binge eating yet is because you don't know actually what to do. And again, like I said, I was at that place. I was trying everything. I was maybe intermittent fasting is going to work because my binges are all at night, so I'm just not going to eat after 7 o'clock, and then I would try to not buy the chocolate covered almonds. I wouldn't buy the Brooklyn chocolate with the acai berries. I wouldn't buy the dried mangoes. I wouldn't buy the cereal. When I lived with my parents, I told my mom, don't buy these foods, even though I love them, don't buy those foods. And that's not what you need. So the first thing is you actually need to know what to do. Now, the second reason why you're still binging is you know what to do, but you're not implementing it. There's a disconnect. And honestly, this is the most frustrating thing in the world. When you know you're binging, when you know that you shouldn't give in to your urges, but you're still giving in, when you know that you're still telling yourself F it, I don't care, I'm just going to binge one last time, I'm bloated, I feel like crap. There's nothing more frustrating than knowing what to do and not feeling like you have control to change. And it's not your fault. I remember being at that place and I learned that, binge eating was a habit and that I shouldn't give in to my urges. But I just felt compelled. Like, I just felt like I needed to. I just felt like there was no other option. Like, okay, I know I shouldn't give in, but I'm sorry, when the urge comes on, like, I have to give in actually. And so that can be more frustrating when it's like, I know that I need to not give in to my urges, but I'm still giving in. Or I know that I should allow myself to have the foods that I want, but my mind keeps telling me that I should stick to the healthier option. Or my mind keeps telling me, like, only allow myself to have one cookie. And that that's somewhat of a restrictive method. But again, it's like, well, how do I change? How do I shift? And this is what I mean by you have to rewire your brain, because you have to actually shift your thinking about food. If you don't actually shift your thoughts around food, then you can tell yourself until you're blue in the face, like, don't give in to your binge urges. But if you're still thinking, I'm way less powerful over my urges, you're going to give in. You can tell yourself, allow yourself to have the foods that you want. But if your thoughts are, well, I probably shouldn't eat that, I got to be good today, then not like it's going to be more challenging. So yes, you need to know what to do, but that's not enough. Right now, you might actually know a lot of what to do. And this is why just listening to a podcast isn't going to create the transformation that you need. This is why people who come into my programs get real-time coaching with me, where I can help them rewire their brain in real time. Like, this is the thought you're thinking. This is what I want you to think instead. And you can transform at rapid speed when you're a client of mine, because you actually need that hands-on coaching. It's not enough to just know what to do. Like, you need to know the tools, yes, but then you actually need support implementing it. And it's not that you're broken, weak-willed. This is a habit that's been deeply ingrained into your brain, and you need repetition to rewire your brain. So this is why you see my clients conquering binge eating. You see my clients going months and months and months without binge eating, because they come work with me. So they're getting coaching from me, real-time coaching with me, so I can help them rewire their brain in real time, shift their thoughts. They are part of our incredible community, so they actually feel less alone, and that will transform your relationship far faster than you can even imagine. And then they know the tools. They know exactly how to rewire their brain. There's no guessing, like, what should I do? It's like, you know exactly what to do when you work with me. Like, I lay it out step by step. From the very beginning of, like, where the heck and bob do I even begin, to, okay, I'm having less urges, but now I'm still overeating. There's trainings on that. Okay, well, I'm not really binging, but like every single time I'm stressed or I'm bored or I had an argument, it's like, I don't really know how to process my emotions. I'll help you with that. This is also why it's important to work with someone like myself for a long period of time. Most of my clients work with me minimum 6 months. There's clients that work with me for a year, 2 years, because they're serious about conquering binge eating. And also they don't want to just stop binge eating. They want to transform their lives as a whole. And it's not that it takes a long time to stop binge eating. But again, my clients want to sustainably end this for good. Like, they're not here for a quick fix. It's like they want to step into their binge-free life. They don't want less urges, less food thoughts. They're ready to transform for good. So those are the 2 reasons why you haven't conquered binge eating yet. But the good news is that it's actually so much simpler than you think. You need the tools, and you also need to implement them. A combination of those 2 things will change the game. I was even talking to one of my clients, and she's like, I read a book before working with you, and it made me even more frustrated because she's like, I'm reading all this information and it all makes logical sense, but like, how do I actually implement it? And again, that's the difference between like reading a book, listening to a podcast, and actually talking to a real life human like myself who has been through it. And I can tell you, like, hey, do this instead. You can't skip the coaching part. You can't skip the real life human connection where it's like, I see you. Actually think this thought instead. I can tell you exactly why you can do well for a week or two and then you sabotage. I can help you shift your identity out of binge eating. Like, there's so many things that can support you in a coaching session. So, you don't have to try to figure out how to do this on your own. And it actually does not have to take a long time. It doesn't have to be complicated. Again, is it easy? No. Like, it's going to require work and effort. But you're not afraid of putting in the work. You just want to know what to do. And then you also want to have support. And this is why I know that you're going to be someone who's successful conquering binge eating, because you are committed, you're dedicated, you're ready. And so when you have the proper tools and you have the coaching, like, you're going to be unstoppable. Like, you are going to be that person that conquers binge eating. So there's different ways to work with me to stop binge eating, depending on your level of commitment, depending on how much support you're looking for in terms of getting coaching with me. We have the Root and Rewire membership, and that's monthly coaching with me. We have Conquer, which you get 2 coaching calls with me a month. And then the Academy is the highest level of support, where you get weekly coaching calls with me. And I also have a few other programs as well too. So the best thing to do is just message me on my Instagram and say, like, I'm ready, or I'm ready to conquer. Like, just send me a message on my Instagram, and then I can see where you're at, and I can show you the best program that would be best suited for your needs, your level of support that you're looking for. And you can literally start feeling less impulsive with food this week. Like, literally this week, you can have less food thoughts. This week, you can have less urges. This week, you can feel less impulsive with food. This week, you can stop eating when you're full. Once again, when you know the tools, you have the support, you got the community, and you're not trying to figure out how to do this on your own. So I will see you in my DMs. I cannot wait to support you, and I'll catch you in my DMs.